Okay, so here we have some linear pairs. Now remember, a linear pair is basically just any have a line and then one ray that comes out of it. Then the two angles that I've created there, this angle and this angle, they form a linear pair. They're adjacent, which means they add up to 180. Okay, in this case, we have a linear pair. Angle AC forms a linear pair with angle COB. And so they have to add up to 180. If one of them is 30, the other one is going to be 180 minus 30, leaving me with 180. Same thing happened. Angle FOH. And if you're having trouble with three-letter angle names, it's not a bad idea. Draw it out and trace it. So F to O to H. We could have come from the other direction. H to O to F. So that's angle FOH, or it's 127. This other angle, angle H or HOG, is unknown. So we have to find it. We know they add up to 1 because normal here. So just 180 is going to give us the answer, and that's 53. So the measure of angle GOH is 53 degrees. Number 3, these are more algebraic. 3, and let me just move my paper here a sec. On number 3, I still know I have a linear pair because I have a straight line and one ray that comes off on one side of it. Another way of saying this is the two rays, the rays of a straight line, those are called opposite rays if they have the same endpoint and go in opposites. So these two rays are opposite rays. So we have a pair of opposite rays and then one more ray that shared side. It's the side of both angles. Okay, so those two have to add up to 180. So this time I don't have numbers. I can write an equation that says that. I can say 11x minus 15 plus, because they add up to 180, 5x minus 13 equals 180. So first I'm going to combine. Let me see if I can move this a little bit. It's not quite straight. I don't know why it's not becoming straight. Oh, there we go. We can combine our like terms. So we have 11x's and 5x's, that's 16x's. Negative 15 and negative 13, that's negative 28. And then this is what we have. Now I'm going to collect my like terms on one side, so all the numbers are going to go over on the right, leaving the variables on the left. And I have 16x equals 208. Divide both sides by 16, and that goes, let's see, 13 times. So the value of x is 13. Okay, so this last one gives us a chance to look at what if it's not just a linear pair. Like here, that's all we have. So it's pretty easy to spot the linear pair, but that's not always the case. Sometimes we have our intersection of two lines, which is what we have here, an intersection of two lines, and we have to figure out what we're going to do in terms of what we're going to work with, what linear pair we're going to use, if we're even using a linear pair. So let me just point out, sometimes I feel like students find it easier to take the edge of a piece of paper and recognize a linear pair as two angles that if you cover up, like follow the straight line, if I cover up everything except a straight line, if there's two angles on one side of that, that's a linear pair. So I could say that 107 plus x equals 180. I could say that x plus y equals 180. I could say that y plus z equals 180. All of these are linear pairs. And I could say that z plus 107 equals 180. Now, some of those aren't that helpful. Like if I said x plus y equals 180, that's two variables, but only one equation. You have to have as many equations as you do variables. If we want to solve for two variables, usually we call that a system of equations with two equations, but that's not necessary here because we can take things that we do know just with one equation and the one variable. Like for instance, I can say x plus 107 equals 180. If x plus 107 equals 180, then x is 73. And I can keep going around my figure like that. I could say 73 plus y equals 180. I could say 107 plus z equals 180. But another thing I could do here is use vertical angles. At this point, I have vertical angles that go with every, or congruent to every angle that I already know. In other words, the 107 here is a vertical angle with the y. So if it's 107, then y has to be 107. And x and z are vertical angles as well. So if x is 73, then z is 73. And I'm done.